Okay, Gertrude, also known as Trudy Bills, our number one. Uh, I mean, she always join our life, yes, and we are grateful to her for all the information. So before we go to um, okay, Z, you can also introduce yourself to us.
Hi, my name is Zano, and I'm a nutritionist with Ghana Health Service. I'm stationed at Korle Klote Municipal Health Directorate.
And it's another continuous.
Nutrition Friday!
Yes. But this evening is Breastfeeding Friday. Yes. So Zanu is our um anchor for Nutrition Friday. She has been the one doing all our episodes for us, and we are grateful. But now, last but not the least, in fact, let me allow her to introduce herself. Auntie Sefako, please, you can unmute and talk.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am the new kid on the block tonight.
Oh yes.
I'm joining your chat room for the first time,
Mm,
and I am excited to be here. More so because it's a special month for us.
yeah.
My name is Sefako Sapati, the Regional Nutrition Officer for Greater Accra, and Zano has pulled me here because it's critical. So I'm excited to be here.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are also excited to have. It's always exciting to have a new voice. I mean, new people coming on board all the time, and I know this wouldn't be your first and last, and I know you'll be joining us going forward.
I hope
Yes.
so. Yes.
Welcome, Safako. We are grateful to have you. So, um, now let's get into the conversation. Let me start with Miss Safako. I mean, now that you are on the floor, if you can explain to us why is it important that we talk about breastfeeding myths and misinformation, especially when many of these beliefs have have been passed down, I mean, from generation to generations. And also, how can misinformation affect a mother's confidence in breastfeeding?
Thank you very much. Yes, it's actually very important for us to clarify some of the myths or most of the myths going around. And like you mentioned, some of them are actually very old, passed down from our grandparents, great grandparents. And sometimes there were good intentions behind some of them. But as time goes by, we realize that they're having some negative effect or impact on our breastfeeding rate, especially the exclusive breastfeeding rate. That is the first 6 months. So it's actually important for us to bust these myths and misconceptions and then get the facts there for everybody to understand. So it is because most people don't understand or they were misled in quotes why the reason why it's actually very difficult for them to practice what we are actually preaching. So we realize that this is the way to go. Go in there and not be aware of them. With them and clarify it best and clarify these myths.
or even talk or anything. If you do that, something terrible will happen to you. And I mean, after when I grew up, I realized it was because of the chemicals in the soap that might be harmful to you whilst you are in the bathroom bathing and the soap enters into your mouth and or it can harm you. That's why they came up with this information. But I mean, some of this information, I mean, when you grow up, you get to realize that some of these are just myths. And I'm glad you mentioned this, Miss Sefako. Um, before we go ahead, Derek Coco, yes, my main man, welcome to our life for the very first time. We have Ohima Plank. I hope it's a plank I know at work. Ohima, you're welcome. Afi Rini, Afi, it's been a while. It's been a while since I saw you around here, but you're welcome to our life. And I'm hoping to hear your voice tonight, Afi. So kindly request and add your voice to some of the myths that you know about breastfeeding, and our guest will talk about it for you. I also have Kiki here. Kiki, you're welcome to our live. Kindly share this live for other people to join, and so that we can have a fruitful discussion. I have Mail, yes, I have Mail here. I also have Dramani. Hey, okay, I won't go there. Okay. Welcome, Dramani. I have Nana eh, Tamia also here. Okay, and Maya, you're also welcome to our live. Kindly share this live and so that a lot of people can join the conversation and hear um, about some of these myths that has been passed on generation to generation. Now, so we are already establishing something important. I mean, breastfeeding information isn't just about what sounds familiar. It should be based on accurate information and appropriate support. Yes. Now let's get into the myth, because I know our viewers are also waiting for this information. Zanu, you are there.
I'm right here.
Oh, great, great, great. So, Zanu, let's start with one of the most common question people normally ask. A baby is thirsty,
Mhm.
so shouldn't we give the baby water in addition to the breast milk? I mean, when they are, yeah, I mean, below 6 months, breast milk, water is not as heavy as breast milk. I mean, to my understanding, okay, to me, but don't you think water can also go a long way for babies aside the breast milk?
So, breast milk is up to 90% water.
Oh, okay.
So, if it's water you are looking for, it's already in the breast milk.
Hmm.
Besides, babies have very small tummies. And so, when we give them water, we preoccupy the tummy. And so, the babies are getting very little breast milk. But you know that babies develop very rapidly. And so, they need rapid nutrition. So, if you are giving them water, of which breast milk is already 90% water, and you
Yeah.
are already adding water, then you are reducing the amount of nutrition they are getting per feed. But they need that nutrition to grow rapidly. So it's important that we are doing the first 6 months without water.
Wow. But why do some families believe that babies need, yes, additional water?
So that's why we are here to burst some of those myths because they don't
Mm,
need additional water. All the water they need is in their breast milk. All the food they need is in their breast milk. Besides, any woman who has lactated before will let you know that when you put the baby to the breast, the first one that comes out, apart from the colostrum, which is the first one, the first 3 days after birth, the
the
first milk
yellow
that comes
one.
out is, yes, not that one. Start after breastfeeding has been established. The first milk that comes out is very whitish and not heavy at all. That is
Okay.
a lot more water, and that is meant to quench the baby's thirst if the baby is thirsty. Then subsequently, you have a thicker milk, which has more fat, more proteins. And that one is meant to satisfy the baby. So babies don't need breast milk. God, in His own wisdom, has provided them with everything they need in the breast milk. They don't need extra water.
Okay. But so how can parents and grandparents, I mean, respond when someone insists that baby the baby needs water? I mean, when they are insisting.
The baby doesn't need water because all the water is in the breast milk. And so everything that the baby needs for the first 6 months is in the breast milk. And I
Okay.
think that it's time our parents and grandparents understand this. Science is always evolving. I'm sure in their time it was okay to give children water, babies under 6 months water. But as we evolve, as science evolves every day, knowledge is also evolving. I know that I have read that in ancient times when someone got a sore, they would rub a little cow dung on the sore so that they can introduce some kind of bacteria, just to save the person from getting tetanus. Today we have a particular vaccine for tetanus, and so you don't need to rub cow dung there. So science have evolved from what they knew till today. And so as time changes, there are cancer emredania now also what who be.
Yeah.
Canino, we didn't know. Now we know. So let's stick to the new knowledge.
Okay. Okay. So parents and grandparents, this one is for you. Yeah, I know some grandparents will be like they want to insist on giving, some even start feeding the children even before they clock their 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. But I mean, we are not supposed to. Okay, so, and I mean, this is exactly why we need conversations like this, because sometimes what we believe is common knowledge may need a closer look. So, Gertrude, let me let's move to another big one. We hear mother says, "I don't have enough breast milk for my baby." How can a mother know whether she is actually producing enough milk? And what signs can we assure a mother that her baby is getting enough?
All right, so thank you so much for the opportunity and the question as well. I would begin by saying that first thing that a mother should do is to initiate breastfeeding. So we say that initiates breastfeeding within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour after birth. And the reason is that some people are waiting or looking for, let's say, droplets of the breast milk, or they are waiting to feel a particular sign to know that maybe their breast milk has started flowing or something before they put the baby to the breast. But the truth of the matter is that the moment baby begins to breastfeed, baby puts the mouth to the breast and begins to suckle, there is a reflex to the brain that makes the brain know that yes, baby is indeed around. Then the breast milk will start flowing. And the thing is that the more baby suckles on the breast, the more breast milk that is being produced. So the moment baby is not suckling as much, there will be no much flow, because where is the baby? The brain will not know that the baby is around. And the other thing is also that when people are breastfeeding, they don't breastfeed well. I'm very happy for tonight's conversation, because when a mother is breastfeeding, it's always advised to empty one breast before the other. And as Zanu was explaining, breastfeeding, the initial milk is a bit light, then it goes to the thicker one. So the moment you just switch in between breast, it means that the baby is getting the lighter or the whitish one, going to meet the one that has a lot of calories and very important for growth. So it's very important that mothers who are breastfeeding should empty one breast before the other. So the first thing that it does is that the baby, because it's gaining the lighter one and the thicker one. And the other thing too that emptying one breast before the other does is that The more you are emptying the breast, the more the breast milk is produced. So when you empty one breast before the other, you realize that all the time, someone that breastfeed very well using this method of emptying one breast before the other always have sufficient milk flow, because in the case of feeding one breast, like switching in between breasts, now the body doesn't even know where the breast milk is going to. So all these things happen, and then makes some people have even their flow of breast milk stops before they are actually planning to stop breastfeeding their babies. So one thing that mothers should know is that the breast milk is adequate. As Zanu kept stressing on it, it's actually adequate. It contains enough water. It contains all the nutrients baby needs for the first 6 months. So mothers, please do not panic and do not try to introduce any other fluid or any other water or any other food to baby's diet or baby's feed. Breast milk alone is enough for the first 6 months of life.
Um, hmm. Trudy, I know you are very passionate about breastfeeding, and every time we talk about breastfeeding, I mean, you give uh, very insightful information. But how can family members support a mother who is worried about her milk supply?
Okay, so families can really, really support when it comes to breastfeeding, because sometimes when a mother is even going through stress, the breast flow kind of reduces. So when a mother delivers, that sometimes when a mother gives birth, it's very important to have like a spouse or a family member just to help the person around a little bit, so the person can have enough rest, so the breast milk can flow adequately. So the family members, one thing that we would rather advise is, rather than encouraging or making mothers or telling mothers to give water, please, your work is to please help around with non-feeding chores so that mothers can rest adequately, so that they can breastfeed the family members. You have a new role to help, rather than advocating introducing of water and other feeds to baby's meal.
Thank you so much, Gertrude.
Prince, just to add on to what Getchu said about how to know that your baby is getting enough
Yeah.
breast milk, I think that there are a few things you can look out for. Whether the child is passing urine frequently. We are saying that in a day, roughly after breast milk has been properly established, we are expecting about 6 changes in diapers in the 24 hours. We are also looking at whether the child is suckling up to the 8 to 12 times in a day as recommended, at least 8 to 12 times in the day, especially when in the early days after childbirth. Then we are also looking at the stool. When the child is born first, the stool is dark and sticky, which we call meconium. But if breast milk is well established, it will move from the dark and sticky to a more yellowish brown stool, which will indicate that the child is getting enough breast milk. And then finally, the weight. We are looking out for the weight to see whether the weight is gradually increasing. So if you are seeing all these things, mothers, like grandmothers and everybody, if you are seeing all this, is like Gertrude said, it means baby is getting enough. So let's do
Mm,
the other things. Let's do the cooking, the cleaning, and everything. And then mommy will concentrate on giving the breast milk, which would support the baby's well being.
okay. Thank you so much, Zanu, for this.
Thank you.
Nira, the nutritionist, you are welcome. Maya, you're also welcome. And Jamie Mahama, you are also welcome to our live. This live is very interactive. So try, if you have any question or any follow-up or contribution, you can leave them in the comment section, or you can request tonight. Like I said, we are opening the the request button. You can request, if you see the request over there, you can request and join the conversation so that you can also add your voice to tonight's discussion. This is a good live chat room of the Ghana Health Service. Tonight, we are talking about some of the myths and facts about breastfeeding. And my guest, I have Zano Obili. She is our anchor for Nutrition Friday and also a nutrition officer with Colette Clotte. And I have Gertrude, also a nutritionist with also with Ghana Health Service. And I have our regional nutrition officer, Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate with us here. She is Miss Sefako Sapati. I hope I got it right. Yes,
Yes,
with
that's
us
good.
tonight. Oh, nice, 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 nice. To also help us to talk more about this myth and facts about uh, nutrition. So this is a very important conversation. So share the live if you've not shared it yet. Like it so that your followers will see that we are live and they can join this conversation. Um, so sometimes the problem isn't what a mother doesn't want to breastfeed. Sometimes she simply needs information, reassurance, and practical support. And that brings us to another popular belief. This one, Miss Sefako, there's this idea that breastfeeding is completely natural, and so it should automatically be easy for every mother. Is that a myth or a fact? And also, what are some of the challenges that can a mother experience when starting to breastfeed?
All right, thank you very much. Just before I answer your question, let me just add to what Trudy and Zano said about the not enough milk
Mhm.
situations. They've said it all. Usually, the not enough milk, we put it in a quotation mark because most of the time, it is the mindset of the mother who is thinking that I do not have enough milk. So we just want to quote what she is saying because the reality is that most of the time that is not the case. It's just that she's anxious and thinking that this is how much the child should take at this particular time. And most of the time, our mothers think that when babies cry, it's a sign that they are hungry or they've not had enough breast milk. But we all know that hunger is not the only cause for cry, or hunger is not the only reason why babies would cry. So it's the anxiety of the mothers. At the initial stages, just like Trudy said, when you are initiating, when the baby arrives very new, we should not expect a lot of breast milk. Just tiny drops are just enough for the baby, because at that particular time, just those drops, once the baby is suckling on and stimulating, the drop that is coming out from the breast is just enough. So we just need to assure and counsel the mother properly to actually understand that, oh, your baby is getting enough, and look out for all those other signs that they have mentioned. Okay, so is it easy for every mother to breastfeed? Well, that's a very good question. I always say that when we are counseling or educating women to breastfeed, we should first of all let them know that it will not be that easy. Because once we begin to make it like, oh, it's actually an easy thing, and when they start and they encounter challenges, they'll feel like, oh, they have been misled. But once you let them know that it is not actually that easy, if you want to really do it well, then they prepare themselves, and whatever counseling you give them, whatever practical support you give them, will actually make it easier for them. So the family support, because from my experience, I realized that you, the mother, you are determined to do breastfeeding or exclusive breastfeeding, but the family support around you, those around you, they are the ones who actually try not to help you do that. And most of the time, they are the ones taking care of the baby because you are resting, you are sleeping. So our counseling must involve the family. Is it the partner, the mother, the auntie, those who will be around, and get them to understand, to support them. And majority science has actually given us the information that about 98% of women can lactate and lactate well. So it's just a tiny percentage, let's say 2%, that's for some biological reasons or some unknown reasons they may not be able to breastfeed. But every woman, almost every woman, majority, will be able to breastfeed easily once the relevant education, the relevant counseling, and the support is given, then they can easily do that. So the community, the opinion leaders need to get involved. We need to let them know that, okay, this is the best for the baby. Let's support our mothers. The environment, the work environment, is it going to make it easy for the mother, the working mother, to continue to do exclusive breastfeeding once they are ready to go back to work? So we also need to make sure that the environment, especially the work environment, whether it's formal or informal, we have breastfeeding corners in the workplace, we have milk room or lactation rooms where mothers can go and express their milk and then give to their babies. Once we do that, it's actually easier for the mother or to breastfeed. Also talking about our maternity leave, we are currently in talks. The government wants to extend from 3 months to 4 months. That would be a great start, because once you get 4 months and you add your annual leave, you have an extended period within which you can do almost 6 months of exclusive feeding as recommended by WHO. So the environment, the family support, and the education, the counseling that is needed to make it easy for every woman. That assurance, because some mothers in their mind, they believe that they may not be able to breastfeed. But when you do the counseling well, doing the listening and learning skills, confidence building skills, assuring the mother, then it is easy, because breast milk is actually made in the mind. So once the mother is assured and psychologically okay, then they are able to easily breastfeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sefako. Um, Talking about leave or 3 months leave, I know there is some talks in extending maternity to 6 months, from 3 months to 6 months. In your opinion, do you think that I mean, sometimes some of the mothers even get bored at staying at home for that. Do you think the 6 months mothers really need the 6 months?
Yes, they need 6 months or more. And so it's actually important that we get up to 6 months. In other jurisdictions, they have that. They have up to 6 months. And interestingly enough, here in Ghana, we have companies that manufacture formula who you may think may not be promoting breastfeeding. They actually have an extended leave, maternity leave, longer than those of us in the health service advocating and promoting breastfeeding. That is the irony of it all. So mothers need that. Mothers need at least 6 months. We are not even saying just 6 months, at least. So even if they can get longer than that, they need that. And not just that. So we have to also educate them, counsel them on how to continuously make sure that there is enough supply.
Mm.
So yes, so enough supply even before you get to work. So we always have to remind the health workers to teach them expression, how to hand express and keep storing long before they resume, how to store them in different containers, different breast milk bags, and put them in the fridge, in the freezer, to make sure that there is enough supply. And the more you express, the more milk production you will actually have. So women need 6 months or more to be able to do that, because like I said, it's not an easy thing. So they are actually really stressed and tired. So after breastfeeding, they will need that rest.
Yeah.
So you realize that a lactating mother, it's even more tired or more stressed than a pregnant woman because of the breastfeeding alone. So they need all that time to rest and recoup. So 6 months is actually needed for for our breastfeeding mothers. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Sefako. Ah, so, like I said earlier, tonight we are talking about myth and fact about breastfeeding. Put in the comment section some of the myths that you've heard that I don't know whether you believe it or not. Just put them in the comment section, and I'll read them to our guests for them to wait for us. If you have any comments or contribution to, you can also add them in the comment section. And also you can request to come on the show to to voice out the myth and facts that you've heard about breastfeeding. Feel free to request to come on the show, and I'll accept you to for us to hear your voice. This kid, you're welcome. Bijomeku, you're also welcome. Favor, you are welcome. Amma, yes, you are also welcome. And Yabwama, yes, Yabwama, you're also welcome. This is the Good Life chat room, as I said earlier. We are talking about breastfeeding tonight. And leave your comments, your questions, and all your contribution in the comment section, and I'll read them to our guests to answer them for us. So breastfeeding may be natural, but that doesn't mean every mother automatically knows how to do it, or that every breastfeeding journey will be easy. In fact, the experienced mothers, so even if you are experienced, you won't find it easy. Every child comes with its own yes issues. So I mean, sometimes to the people around, the mother can make all the differences. Yeah, so let's try and support breastfeeding mothers for them, like Auntie Sefako said earlier. Zanu, let's talk about the family. How important is the role of fathers, grandmothers, and other family members in successful breastfeeding? And also, let me add one more about our health workers. What role do health workers play in helping mothers overcome breastfeeding challenges? So I know you can unmute
Okay,
and
yeah,
talk.
I've unmuted myself. So let me start with the health workers. Let me start from home. So we are equipped with the knowledge and the skill
Yeah.
to support women to breastfeed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is our main role, to support women to breastfeed. The requisite information and would give them the requisite skill support. So skills like teaching them how to position and attach their baby, skills like what to do when there's an engorgement, when there are small breastfeeding issues, what to do. Not everything requires medication. So those that do not require medication, what can you do at home that would help? That is the role of the health worker. And where you need medication, would would direct you to the appropriate quarters among the health workers where you can be given the proper medication to help you solve your problem. So I'm starting from home. Then, when it comes to the family, especially the spouse, when a woman has a baby, she has created a whole new human being. She's recovering from the pain, the stress of carrying a baby, all the things she couldn't do when she was pregnant. She's recovering from all those things. In addition, she has to take care of the baby. Her senses are heightened. She wants to make sure that baby is comfortable, baby is fine. Everything about baby relies heavily on her. And so the family, first of all, has to take the other responsibilities that can be done by someone else, like cooking, like cleaning, like making sure mother is comfortable, like making sure that she's fed, you know, like making sure that we are not giving her unnecessary pressure, unnecessary anxiety. Okay, we are trying to protect her mental health. All these things are the role of the family, especially the dad. So the dad has a lot of things to do when, and that is why we are again fighting for paternity leave. But the men say they don't want it. But we are fighting for them to also get
Who
some two
says we
weeks
don't want
of.
it? I want to see that
They,
those men.
they say they don't want it. They say when they come home we send them too much, so they don't want it. So, I mean, but that's just on a lighter note. But yes, the men have a lot of roles to play just by making sure that the mother is comfortable and she can give her full attention to recovery, but also to the well being of the child. Like Auntie Sefako said, breast milk production is in the mind. So if she doesn't have a good peace of mind, she cannot start the breast milk production or sustain the breast milk production process. So it's important that we have family support, especially spousal support. Yesterday, I saw some research where they said women who didn't have financial support um, um, when they had their babies were less likely to exclusively breastfeed. So these are all indicators that we have a responsibility as a family to ensure that the woman has a peace of mind to be able to do what she has to do.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. Just to add to what
Yes.
Zano said, she said it all. So the last point she mentioned about financial support is a very interesting one, because we said that when the woman is stressed or worried, there will be no breast milk production. So you can imagine a woman who has just delivered at the hospital and there's no money to come and pay for the hospital bills for her
Yeah.
to be discharged to go home. That woman is sitting down there, worried and stressed, and also thinking about, okay, when I take this baby home, how are we going to survive? So it's because there's no financial support from the partner or whoever. So for that mother, you will have to really help her, because that risk of not being able to produce breast milk is high because she's worried and stressed. So that means that she may likely go and introduce some other feeds because breast milk is not flowing. So that is one thing. And then the family support, the husband can, for instance, if the mother knows how to express and store at night, when the mother is sleeping, the partner or whoever is around, mother, auntie, can take that expressed breast milk and feed the baby whilst the mother sleep. So it means that the mother will have a sound sleep, unlike the baby feeding directly onto her breast where she has lack of sleep. So those are the very little supports that we expect from our partners and our family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Sefako. Uh, Now let me find out. What should families do when traditional advice conflicts with recommended breastfeeding practices? These are some of the things that we face. I mean, some women face uh, in our rural communities. So, Zanu, can you touch on this for us?
Can you kindly come again? I sorry, my line broke, so I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, so we want to find out what should families do when traditional advice conflicts with the recommended breastfeeding practices.
Well, I think that um, it's a very dicey situation, but having a child is a decision of two people, the mother and the father. And in Africa, we say children are raised by communities, but the primary decision to have a child is dependent on the mother and father. And so, if a mother and father decide to have a child, then I think the mother and father have the utmost responsibility to ensure that the child is getting the best nutrition. Okay. And so, parents should decide what they want and stand on their grounds. We, as health workers, are going out there creating information and trying to change mindsets of communities on breastfeeding. We are organizing debates, we are meeting opinion leaders, we are even meeting some religious leaders to help us make our point across. We are doing that on our side. But parents must also stand their ground. Knowing what is good for your child, you need to stand your ground. There's this thing that I always say when I'm doing education on breastfeeding. And I say that the cow knows that the baby is growing up to eat grass. Yet still, when the calf is born, it is breastfed. So does the goat, so does the dog, the cat, even certain birds, and even like rural raised chickens. You would realize that the chicken will put the maize or whatever you give it in its mouth, break it into pieces before it feeds it to the baby. In the sea, there are the whales and other mammals who do the same thing. When babies are born, their digestive system is not ready for food. And so the mother's digestive system is what does all the digestion, does all the cleaning, taking out all the toxins, and giving the breast milk in its purest form to the baby. And this is what community needs to understand. I know that Ghana Health Service has come a long way. In certain communities back then, colostrum was poisonous. In quotes, they've assumed that colostrum was poisonous, and so when a baby was born, they would express the colostrum and throw it away. There were certain practices where they would put an ant in the colostrum, and if the ant dies, they would have to discard the milk. Now we have educated them to let them know that's the most important part of the milk. That is the part that contains a lot of antibodies. That's the part. It's a very important part of breastfeeding. And so those communities have stopped. We are not relenting on the work that we are doing. We are continuing, but we are also saying that parents should stand their grounds and know what is right for their child and insist on it.
Thank you so much, Zanu. I never knew that ants can survive in anything liquid. Wow. Anyway, Gertrude, let me get to you. But before we go to Gertrude, Kiki is saying that some people also think one of the breasts contains water and the other the other also contains breast milk. Um, Gertrude, maybe you can touch on this one for us when I mean you are giving your submission um on this. If breastfeed this particular question really yeah, me too, I have a challenge with that, so I think I will be learning. If a breastfeeding mother becomes sick, does that automatically mean she should stop breastfeeding? Or let me say, maybe they are taking certain medicine. Does it translate or does it pass through the milk to the child? Would it affect the child in any way? Um, I mean, Gertrude, if you can touch on this for us.
All right, sure. So I'll start with the question that the person asked on the live
Yes, Kiki.
concerning the breast milk, one being the water and one being the food. So this myth actually has been going on for a very long time, and
Yeah.
people actually believe it. And then the reason being, like, I mean, they have a little bit of truth in the sense that what happens is that when you are breastfeeding, the breast milk that begins is more liquid. So that's, let's say in quotes, the water. Then the food
Mm,
follows. So that's what people mistaken and think that, oh, one is water and then one is food. But then the truth is they both contain the same thing. But just that the one that begins to flow initially is more liquid, which is quenching the thirst of the baby. And then the one that follows is more thick, containing more calories that helps baby to grow. So that's just it. So in terms of mothers stopping breastfeeding when they are sick, that one is a bit relative, because if the mother is sick and then the condition does not affect, or the medications does not affect the baby, then mothers can breastfeed the baby. That is why it's important that you seek medical help. So for instance, if you are sick as a breastfeeding mother, You don't just sit at home and then buy any form of medications and start taking. But then you have to visit the hospital, and then the right information will be given to you as to whether you are continuing breastfeeding or you are pausing for a while to take your medications before you continue. So basically, that's it for breastfeeding mothers who are not too well.
Okay. So are there
Thank
situations
you.
where okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
answer
don't know if
Sifako.
anyone would want
Yeah.
to add, as Sefako would want to add to it.
Oh, you have said it. Oh, it's just that the first one, the one breast is water,
Water.
and the other one is that is our number one top myth we have been dealing with, like she said. But I mentioned that some of these things came about with the good intentions behind them. And we believe strongly that this information is actually coming from health professionals. Initially, those who started when the exclusive breastfeeding thing was introduced, they believe that when they tell the mother this, the mother will not go and give water or any other fluid beside the breast milk. So they are saying that they are telling the mother that, oh, one is water and the other one is breast milk, so as to prevent the mother from going to give water. But what happens is that, in fact, it actually worsens the whole situation, because it means that they will continue to give one milk, one breast throughout, and not change over as we educate them to do, that you have to drain all from one. Once it feels light, you move on to the other. So that's the start of this myth came from health workers in particular, because they thought that when they tell them that, but it's actually very misleading. So we have been trying hard to actually clarify this and let them know that no, we don't have to mislead them. Once you get them to understand, it's easy for them to do the right thing. So that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Auntie Sifako, let me ask. So when mothers resume, I mean, after say 3 months leave and they resume work, some express the breast milk and put them in the freezer and fridges. How long should breast milk stay in the freezer? And is it even a good practice for mothers to do?
Thank you very much. Yes. So breast milk can be stored. And that is one thing that we are really not putting out there for our mothers to know.
Yeah.
I mentioned that we don't really talk about expression and storage. So it depends on the type of fridge. First of all, even before the fridge, if you don't have a fridge, you can still store your breast milk in the room at room temperature, covered nicely. You can put the cup where in which you are storing the breast milk in a bowl of water, just to make sure that ants will not crawl up into it. So up to 6 hours maximum, because of our tropic situation. Initially, they were saying 8 hours, but then as science is advancing, we have said that breast milk can be kept at room temperature. This is outside the fridge at room temperature up to 6 hours maximum. And in the fridge, it also depends on the type of fridge. Is it the fridge with the double door, the table, the one you open one side fridge? It depends. So fridge can take up to 3 days maximum. And when it comes to the freezer, again, the freezer also depends on the type of freezer. If it is just the kitchen freezer, I mean the one that is standing where you open the door, that one may not last as long as the deep freezer. But even for freezer, any form of freezing, up to months, 6 months. Deep freezer can even last up to 6 months or up to 1 year. I know a colleague who actually, because she knew she was traveling outside the country and was breastfeeding at the time, started storing breast milk every day and had a lot of storage that could last more than 6 months. So while she was away, it was kept in the freezer, the deep freezer. The baby was being fed. So she made sure that even though she was not there, the baby was fed exclusively just on her breast milk. So breast milk can be stored. If you don't have a fridge, you can store outside fridge at room temperature. If you have a fridge, you can store up to 3 days. The deep freezer or the normal freezer can last you up to months, 3 months, 6 months, depending on type of freezer that you have. So storage is possible and it doesn't really affect the nutrient content. Once you want to take it out, you thaw it. You don't heat it or you don't reheat it directly on fire or put it in a pan, a saucepan. So just warm water, heat water, and put the frozen milk that is already in a bag or a container in the hot water to defrost it or to thaw it, as we say. And make sure that you have to test it first before you give to the baby. Test it at the back of your palm to make sure that the temperature is okay. We don't want it to be too cold. We also don't want it to be too warm or too hot for the baby before you give. So all this education needs to be given to the mothers or the caregivers. Thank you.
Okay. Very insightful information. I think we Zanu, like Auntie Sefa said, we don't really talk about the storage enough. So maybe one of these days we can do an episode on it on Nutrition Friday to also educate, to throw more light on it. But Gertrude, I have two questions for you. One from the comment section. And Smart Wife, it's been a long time. I mean, since I saw you over here, for you, I see you every day. So it's been a while since I saw you over here. I hope you are doing well. Now, Smart Wife wants to find out, um, can 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 someone still breastfeed when the person is pregnant? Yes, Gertrude, you can touch on this question and also touch on this one. Um, this question to I mean there are so many people claims about what a breastfeeding mother must eat or drink to produce enough breast milk. How much of this is fact and how much is simply myth? And I mean, what you can also ask some some food that mothers can eat or fruits or some smoothies that they can drink to produce enough water. I mean, if that is practical. So, Gertrude, over to you.
All right, sure. Thank you. So, the nutrition of breastfeeding mothers is very important, even though it doesn't really. So, the truth of the matter is that the more baby suckles on breast, the breast milk production keeps on flowing and flowing. However, the nutrition of breastfeeding mothers play a crucial role. So, I'm going to quickly touch on some few food groups that a breastfeeding mother should eat from. So first of all, a breastfeeding mother should have at least 1 to 2 extra meal in addition to eating 3 times. So ideally, a breastfeeding mother should be eating about 4 to 5 times a day or even more than that. So a breastfeeding mother should make sure that there is adequate amount of nutrients that I'll speak a little bit concerning the 4-star diet. So at least you have an animal source food like the chicken, fish, milk products as well. Also should have staples. Normally when I'm talking about food, I don't really stress on staples because in Ghana we take a lot and lots of staples. That one we don't have a problem with that, like our rice, our yam and all that. Then we also look at the legumes. So something like beans, granuts. Granuts actually helps a lot. So you realize that sometimes they tell pregnant breastfeeding mothers to take mashed kinky with a lot of granuts in there. Then also vitamin A rich fruits and vegetables like mangoes, pawpaw, dark green leaves, carrots, and other fruits such as the bananas, pineapple, watermelon. They are all very important for a breastfeeding mother. And sometimes some people also taking any form of supplements. Please make sure you have consulted a medical practice. I think is going to help you in production of breast milk. And also, mothers can continue taking in their folic acid, their iron and folic acid tablets as well. So cycles, the more milk the body will produce. That is a fact. However, the diet will play a very crucial role. And also eating adequate amount of food is also very important. And you asked one other question.
Can mothers pregnant remain still breastfeed?
Yes. Pregnant women can still breastfeed, but the issue is that now you the thing is a mother who
We
is
lost you.
breastfeeding.
We lost you when you just started. So if you can start again for
Oh,
us.
okay. So I was saying that a pregnant woman who is breastfeeding now has, like, let's say, has much more burden on her in the sense that you have a baby in you who needs more nutrients. You also have a baby you have to breastfeed. Eating extra meals, having fruit, snacking on healthy snack so that there is adequate amount of breast adequate nutrients for baby in the womb to also absorb. So that's what happens. But ideally, it's advised that there should be a little bit of space in between the children to allow for the body to heal and also allow for all these inconveniences to be a bit curtailed. So all that in terms of having interbed space is also important. However, if there is an incident whereby a pregnant woman is breastfeeding, kindly continue to breastfeed. It doesn't affect the baby in any way at all. But
Okay.
then if Auntie Sepako or Zanu also want to add anything to it so that the point is well explained.
Before they will come, let's uh okay. So you let me allow before then we can move to the next segment. Okay, so Zano briefly and Auntie Sefako briefly, if you can touch on these also for us.
Zanu, you go on if you have anything to add. Otherwise,
No, I think she said it all. Yes, you can breastfeed until even until the day you have your next child. It's allowed once you are having good you are staying nourished. Like she said, now you have a growing baby and you're feeding another baby, so you should also make sure that your nutrition is very well um taken care of.
Okay. Auntie Sefako.
oh, in fact, they have said it all. But just to add one more thing, sometimes a mother, a pregnant woman who is still breastfeeding, will complain that my baby gets diarrhea whenever I feed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that happens because depending on the gestation of the pregnancy, if it is very late, it's a late gestation, you may start to produce colostrum. At that point, the function of colostrum is like Zano mentioned earlier on, it clears uh, meconium and then also acts as a what do you call it, laxative when the dark green, the first stool of the baby can. So that is one main function. So if you are pregnant and still breastfeeding, sometimes very, let me say, some rare cases, you may see a sign that the baby who is being breastfed has diarrhea, and it shouldn't be so alarming because hey, something else, something harmful is going on, but it could be because the pregnant woman already had started producing the yellow milk. That's what is causing that. So that education should be done and assurance given. And then the baby attended to, because diarrhea can cause a lot of dehydration and other things. Okay, but it's actually very safe. Majority of women, pregnant women, can safely breastfeed their baby.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Before Nora comes in, this, if you just join us, this is a good live chat room, and tonight we are talking about myths and facts about breastfeeding. And after Nora, we will open the floor so that we all share some of the myths and facts that we've heard. I mean, yes, we've heard so far, so that we will determine if it's a fact or it's a myth. And I'm getting messages. So, okay, we'll get to that. But Nora, can you hear me? Nora, can you hear me? Nora, are you there? You can unmute and talk. Okay, looks like Nora is having a. So let me use this opportunity to welcome Ajay and Original Oba, and also we have Happy user Happy Chills. Hey. Boy, okay. We have Mina Wa Atamina. Okay, you're Mina, you're welcome. And we have H Hood, H Wood, yeah, H Wood. You're also welcome. Amma, you requested earlier. You can request again, or let me send you a request so that you join. Part Collection. You're also welcome to our live, and yes, Part Collection. You are welcome. We have Queen Pretty. Okay. Amate. No, it's Anate. Okay, Anate. I thought it was the Amate I know. Okay, so Anate, you are welcome to our live. All right, Nora, can you hear me? Kindly double tap on the screen and also share this live and follow us. If you are not following us, kindly follow us so that you can get all the updates you need whenever we post it. Yes, Nora, you can hear me now, right? Nora. Oh, Nora cannot hear me. Nora was to give us the update for this week. Uh, okay, since she can't hear me. Nora, can you hear me? All right, then let me. So this week, that was from Tuesday to Thursday, we had a National Health Research Dissemination Forum. It was organized by the Research Division, and the forum brought together researchers and many key stakeholders to share research findings and discuss how evidence can help strengthening the Ghana health system. Also today, which is Friday, EOC, that is Emergency Operations Center, launched their handbook, and it plays an important role in um, coordinating response to public health emergencies. So the handbook provide guidance to support effective coordination and preparedness and response during health emergencies. So if you don't have any of the handbook, kindly get some so that you know what to do in case there is an emergency. Yesterday was World Mosquito Day. Like I said earlier, mosquito has a day. Yes. So it reminds us of the important role mosquito play in spreading diseases, particularly malaria. Yes, last week we had the programs manager for malaria to came on the show to talk about why there is a need to celebrate, or not to celebrate, but to recognize malaria. In order to know something, in order to kill something, you need to know it. Yes, so that you'll be able to eliminate it from from Ghana. That's why we've got to know mosquito, or that's why we have a day celebration for mosquito. Now today's health tips. We have high blood pressure can be a silent condition, meaning you may have it without feeling sick. So don't wait until you feel unwell. before checking your blood pressure. Make blood pressure check part of your routine. Stay physically active, and eat a balanced diet. And speak to a health professional if you are feeling unwell or you are reading a higher um, rate. Remember, prevention is better than waiting for complication. Okay, so this is our health tip for today, and now I want to open up. So let me start. No, in fact, let me read a comment. Some of the comment that I've received so far. So, uh, yeah, Boatima, yes, yeah, Boatima, yeah, Boatima said when mothers eat lots of bread, baby who is breastfeeding will be constipated. Okay, so that's one myth over there. If mothers eat a lot of bread, babies babies can be constipated. This is a big fact. Okay, but I'll leave it to the professionals to talk about it. And also, someone is asking if she can. Okay, so they say if you are angry or hungry, you should not breastfeed. I don't know whether your baby will tend to have hunger issues or Gertrude, please give us some of the myths that you know. Oh no, in fact, let me get to Amma Batima. Amma, yes, Amma, are you there? Amma, can you hear me? Amma, Amma, can you hear me? Okay, looks like Amma cannot hear me. So Gertrude, please give us some of the myths that you know. Gertrude, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
The
Give
ones
us
I
some
know. So
uh
concern the concern the fact that you have to give the baby water, and also the fact that one breast contains water and the other contains the milk for baby. And which other thing? I think basically these are the ones that I remember. Yeah, and
Okay.
also the fact that people believe that the exclusive breastfeeding, that's for the first 6 months, is not adequate for the babies. So they have to add something, any extra food at all cost. And also, yes, one thing that I remember now, people think that if they are not breastfeeding, it's more like they are elite or they have money to buy formula or they have money to buy feed for their baby, so there's no need to breastfeed because they have money. But
Yeah.
actually, it's not even about the money or whatsoever, because what the breast milk contains, nothing else can compare to it. Yeah, so those are the ones that I can easily remember.
Thank you so much. Auntie Sifako, please give us some.
Yeah, those are the common myths Trudy mentioned. But I can see now in the someone's comments, someone is asking, "Can I breastfeed after a long day out?" So that's also one myth that breast milk now say. So it means that once you have been out for so long and you come
Yeah.
home in the evening, some people believe that the the
Breast
breast
men,
milk is
yeah.
no longer wholesome for the baby. So they'll say that the baby and farmer color. So that's what the question someone is asking. You can safely breastfeed. You can safely breastfeed after a long day out. Yes, there's nothing that will happen to the baby, nothing negative will happen. That breast milk is still very safe for you to feed your baby. So I think that's one other myth that is out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Zanu. So Zanu, if you eat mangoes, will your child have running stomach?
Mr. So why did you ask my boss that? Why are you asking me? Please, not as far as my scientific knowledge goes. But
Mm,
maybe if my boss knows something I don't know. I don't know anything about mango. I've even heard contomere too. If you eat a lot
okay.
of greens, your child would pass greens too. That one too is there. But
Okay.
like we are saying, all these are myths, and we are trying to debunk them. The mother needs adequate nutrition, like Trudy said, and it should contain food from all these food groups. And one of the food groups she mentioned was green leafy vegetables, and then fruits and vegetables for vitamin C and other micronutrients. So if we are saying that, oh, mango, and if what is there's a fruit the mother likes the best, so these
Yeah.
things are myths and they're not true, and mothers can feel free to eat their contomere, can feel free to eat their mangoes, etc.
Is there any other
But I don't know
myth
whether
you
Tisepako has
remember?
anything to say about
Just
it.
want to say Nana Famia is also on the call. Right? My colleague out there. Please feel free to come in and add
Nana?
on. Nana, especially when it comes to mango, I know she has something to add. So anytime, just put it there and educate there.
So
All
Nana,
right.
you can request, I will
Thank
accept
you.
it for you to join so that you also give us your insight. Anybody can request so that you come on the show to also give some of the myths that you've heard about that can be very outrageous. Zanu, is that all you have for us?
Oh, I've also heard yeah, some more, that when the breast milk is not coming, one of the things that the mother can do while she waits is to put sugar in water and feed the baby. Please, this is a big myth. It
Ah,
is not true. And it is going to expose your child to a lot of issues, including the risk of malnutrition, the risk of infections, the risk of later on diseases like diabetes and other things. So please, it is not true whatsoever that if the breast milk is not coming, like Trudy said, in the first few days, in fact, in the first day, second day, um, breast milk may come as small as droplets. And so you may not notice that the breast milk is coming, but it's coming. And then the
mm,
third day onwards, it would now come and it will flow. So then now you see it. So even if you cannot see the breast milk, continue to put baby to the breast. And even that would trigger the letdown reflex so that the breast milk can flow. No sugar in water whatsoever or any kind of concoction for baby. That's another thing that I've heard. I think these are the two myths that come to mind readily.
thank you so much, Zanu. We are really grateful for this information. Now, let's give our final submission. But let me start with Auntie Sifako. So, Auntie Sifako, your final submission, and also I want you to touch on social media a little bit. What are some of the breastfeeding? I mean, when we see these myths on social media and anywhere else, what do we do?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, so social media first. So I must thank you for the good work you are doing. The Good Life chat room. It's actually putting nutrition out there, especially the Nutrition Friday. You and Zano. In fact, well done. We appreciate your work so much. Keep it up. And yes, social media. Once we see the myths or the misconceptions out there, as much as possible, we get the experts to clarify. So it means that professionals like us, it's actually important for us to be on social media. So now that I have been introduced to this, I think I'm enjoying it, and it's an opportunity for me to regularly come and educate the public just to
Yeah.
support Zano, Trudy, and co. So yes, once it's out there, we have to quickly come and politely bust that myth and then do the correct information, put it out there. So basically, we need the social media, which is the new media, to get our information out there, because most people are spending their time on social media.
Auntie Sefako, it looks like we can't
Let's keep
hear
it up.
you, or
And
it's
after
just me.
August, it doesn't end there. We are continually en route.
Zanu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I
Can
think
hear you.
I
I
can't
think
hear you.
we've lost Auntie
Oh, okay.
Sefako, so maybe she'd
Oh,
have
too
to
bad.
rejoin.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me send her the invite to. So if you just join, and this is the Good Life chat room, whilst you are waiting for Auntie Sefa to join us. So we do this every Friday from 7 p.m. And next week we will be talking about free primary health care. Free primary health care. We'll be discussing about it. We will have experts to come on the show to talk about free primary health care and how you can access it, everything about it. So don't miss next week. Don't miss it at all. And yes, Auntie Sifago, you are welcome back.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome back.
Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know at what point you lost me.
Eh,
So before I go, I just want to let everyone know that the Ghana Health Service is piloting a service called the Lactation Support Services. So with this, we are setting up lactation support rooms in a few facilities in Greater Accra. So it's just like you go into a room to actually access a service, let's say a family planning service. This time around, we are dedicating a room just for breastfeeding. So anybody who has challenges with breastfeeding can just walk in there, and the experts are there to support you with breastfeeding. Is it about expression? Is it about storage? Is it about positioning and attachment? Whatever you need to know about breastfeeding, the experts are in that room to help you. It is well furnished because this is actually being sponsored by one of our partners, Hospital for Sick Kids Canada. They are helping us to set up this room. So they are well furnished rooms with comfortable breastfeeding chairs and furniture and changing tables for mothers. So we want all our mothers to feel comfortable and to know that, okay, when we come to this facility, there's a service here to actually have, and it's free. So we are starting with 4 facilities. We are we are starting with Sege. When you go to Sege and you need any help or expertise on breastfeeding, we have the lactation support room there. We have Kokrobite, those who live around Weja, Gan South area. Kokrobite also has a room, and I think Nima. Nima Polyclinic also has a room there, lactation support room. And finally, we have Shao Sudoku. So that is the Esuchari area. We have set up a room there for all mothers who come in to deliver, and walk-in mothers to come and have the support, all that they need to breastfeed. So once it goes well, it means that we are actually going to expand it and escalate it to most of the facilities in Greater Accra. So this is new information I'm putting out there. Let's promote it for people to come in and access. Thank you very
Auntie
much.
Sifago, I guess it's free, right?
Yes, it's actually
Okay.
very free. So no mother or no caregiver should be worried that, oh, when I come, I'm going to pay extra. No, it's free. So we
Okay.
have provided, like I said, we are partnering with somebody, the Canadian government, Hospital for Sick Kids, who have helped us to set up this room. So when you come, it's very comfortable for you, and you have the expertise there. The nurses and the nutritionists there are well trained, extra trained to provide that. So it's free. Yes, very
Okay.
free. Thank
Nice,
you.
nice, nice. Thank you so much for the good work that you are doing for our mother Ghana. Yes, we are grateful. Zanu, your final words.
Mr. Wusu, you have turned the table upside down. They say opinion Jaria Nansiasta. You should have made my boss
Oh,
speak
yes,
last.
yes, yes, yes. Forgive me.
Oh, Zanu, speak.
Zanu, you're right. You're right.
Continue.
It's so true.
Zanu and Trudy,
That's
don't
so.
go on.
In fact, our boss, she has said everything. Then, in fact, I will just close. If you
Yeah,
don't,
just close
Hey,
it. I
wait,
yes,
said
you
wait,
just
wait,
close.
wait,
She
everything.
has
wait.
No,
said
don't close.
everything. She has
Mr.
said
Osu, please
everything.
let them
Well,
speak. They have a lot to say. Their final words. Let's hear them.
I want to just put it out there that The institution designated to give you information is when it comes to your health is Ghana Health Service. If you have any issues that you don't understand, if you have any issues that just speak to us, we are there for you. Some of the information that we see online is heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
like Auntie Sepako said, we are doing our best, we are debunking it. But you see, most of us who speak the truth, we don't have as big a following as those people who share the false information. And so you might not see our messages out there. But truly, if you have any doubts or anything, just speak to your nutritionist, speak to your healthcare worker. Okay, if the person cannot help you, but the person will know the right quarters to push you to so that you can get the appropriate help. And that is my message for today.
Thank you so much. And to add a little bit to what Zanu said, I mean, our social media accounts are active. That is Ghana Health Service and Good Life. So if you have doubts or anything, just come on our social media platform, which is Ghana Health Service and also Good Life GH. Send us a message and we will respond and we will redirect you to the appropriate health facilities or our doctors and nurses, and I mean to give you the right information. So don't forget that. Now, Gertrude, let's hear from you.
Anyways, so what I'll say is just to add to what Zanu said, that we should visit the right place for the information that we need, because there are channels of information or there are expertise in every kind of field. So if you want expertise concerning your health, you have to visit the hospital. And then the funny thing, you're told what to do.
Trudy, Zanu, can you hear me? Zanu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
It looks like we've
Um,
lost Trudy.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like we've lost Trudy. Okay.
I'm sure she would rejoin.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Pretty, you are late. It's unfortunate, but don't worry. We will be posting this discussion on our YouTube channel. That is the Good Life GH YouTube channel. That is our podcast on YouTube. If you go there, you will find all our previous episodes. So I'll be posting this there. Go there to listen to it. If you are late, you joined late, just go there and listen to it. It's a very good discussion that we had today. And it's quite unfortunate that some of you missed. So just visit our YouTube channel and click on the podcast, and you will have all our discussions over there so that you can listen to them, including this one. Yes, Trudy, welcome back.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yes, we
Please, can I
lost
be
you
heard?
again.
Yeah,
Yes, we
okay.
can hear
So I
you.
was saying that in terms of successful breastfeeding, it really depends on positioning. However, we are talking about breastfeeding, so we have to make sure that whatever the baby needs, baby is getting, because the baby is well positioned to the breast. So baby should be well positioned to the breast. Mother should be very comfortable when breastfeeding, in the sense that mother should sit in a very comfortable position, have their back leaning against a support, whether a wall or a chair, so they are well supported and can breastfeed for a longer period of time without getting tired, so baby gets adequate breast milk throughout the day or throughout the feed. Mostly when mothers are breastfeeding, they just get tired, put the baby down, and the baby starts crying. They are like, "Oh, baby, wait, send mommy or send papa." Like the baby lies crying. Sometimes it's because the baby did not get adequate milk. So please let's also look at that when baby, and all the time. It's not when babies are crying all the time that they are hungry. So you should also take note of that as well. So we should continue breastfeeding our babies. Immediately after birth, put baby to breast, continue breastfeeding exclusively for the first 6 months. Exactly at 6 months, introduce complementary feeding, which should be homemade foods. Now, the canned foods, or like the way we like quick or fast food, we are introducing the fast foods to the kids. We just want something that we can just grab, just add water, and just give it to the children. When we can just prepare homemade food using our local ingredients for babies. So please, let's also look at that when we are beginning complementary feeding. I think we should also do a show on complementary feeding where we teach mothers on the type of meals that they are to cook for their babies as well. So
Sure.
thank you so much for having us on the show. We are
Thank you
grateful.
too. Thank you too. My son and KFC is like, okay, I won't go. So I mean, like Trudy said, let's do more local food when we are transitioning from breast milk to I mean, after 6 months, when we are introducing some complementary food to the children, I think it will go a long way for them. Today, we have spent almost 20 more minutes on the show because the conversation was so sweet. It was so nice that we just can't have enough of it. And I'm grateful to our Amma. Can you hear me? Let me see if Amma, because Amma is still here. Amma, can you hear me? Okay, looks like Amma is here, but it looks like she can't talk. But thank you so much for joining today's discussion. Auntie Sefako Sapati, Regional Nutrition Officer, Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate. We are so grateful. Zane Obili, thank you so much for joining. And Gertrude, it's always a pleasure to have you. Gertrude Nyano, yes. Thank you for joining today's live, and we are very, very much grateful for coming on the show today. Like I said earlier, you can get the recording on our podcast on our YouTube channel to listen to at any time you want. My name is Prince Owusubana Hinesa Akodie, and before I go, let me start. I mean, before I go, tonight we have learned something very important. Breastfeeding may be natural, but successful breastfeeding needs support. So before you judge a mother, support her. Before you share a breastfeeding myth, check the facts. And before you tell a mother what she should do, ask if she needs help. Because every mother deserves support, every baby deserves the best start. And when we support breastfeeding, we support healthier families and a healthier Ghana. This has been the Good Life chat room of the Ghana Health Service. My name is Prince Owusubanahine Sarkodie. Next week, we will talk about free primary health care. So don't miss the conversation. Come around and let's have a good conversation again. And my guests, once again, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined from the beginning till now. Kiki, you were here from the beginning. We are grateful, and you are still here. In favor to join, and Hwood, we are also grateful. Smart wife, don't miss it next week. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Laxi, is it confit? Okay. And good, do good. You are well. Thank you for joining us. We are done for today. And part collection, we are also grateful. Thank you, everyone. So see you next week. And I mean, don't miss next week conversation. It's very important that we all join the discussion. It will be very, very insightful. So see you next week, Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. And follow our page so that you get all the information. Thank you, everyone, for joining.